It's beta testing time, episode 3. If you haven't been watching this series already, this is a series where I, FoxyNoTail, try and uncover as many bugs as possible in the beta version of Minecraft in order to help with said development by listing those bugs on the Minecraft Jira, and we're doing that via playtesting in survival, as well as looking at the latest features in creative, and also looking at what has been fixed and what new bugs have popped up in the beta. That was a lot to get off my chest straight away, mate, but without further ado, let's get cracking. We are going to start our first hour of survival right now. I've hit go on my stopwatch. We have 1 hour to complete today's tasks, and well, we don't actually have any tasks, I guess. We are in the process of building our starter house. Chuck is here with copper in his hand. It's a lovely sunny day. We discovered some bugs with end rods in the last episode, but this time I want to get this house finished. Now, ideally, I'd like to have a copper roof on this at some point, but there's no way I'm going to get enough copper for that in any time soon. So we're going to go resource gathering, get some resources to do the roof with. We're going to poke in some holes in the rooms upstairs for windows. We're going to get some more glass. In fact, we've got plenty of glass. Let's do the windows first, and then then go resource gathering to get plenty of materials in order to complete the build. We need a roof on this thing, we need an interior, we need rooms. It's all going to be great fun. Let's get cracking, mate. Worn myself out with that high energy start. I could do with a rest. As I look at my little house across the way in the rain, I realise it doesn't look particularly nice with the dark oak wood surround and the oak wood in the middle. I would quite like it to be wool there, or at least a white block, which is going to be very difficult for us to get at this stage of the game. However, I am in basically a mushroom forest, or one of these forests where you get mushrooms, and I've got a silk touch pickaxe, which means I can get the mushroom stems for these, which are a lovely white colour. The only problem here is it is very, very slow getting those, considering obviously the mushrooms are, not very common, and also because it's a pickaxe and not an axe. So I would quite like another silk touch book, or at least another way of getting silk touch on my axe instead of on my pickaxe. So I'm going to grab myself some iron. I might grab myself a reasonable amount of iron, actually, make myself a couple of buckets, and we are going to go and get ourselves some obsidian. Now, the reason I want buckets is if I find lava, I can obviously turn it into obsidian with the water. Now, there may already be obsidian down in our mine. I can't remember whether or not we stumbled across it or not, but I do know there is definitely lava. So yes, we are going to make ourselves an enchantment table. Why not? And not too far down our little corridor, I have found ourselves lots and lots of lava. So let's pour some water on there. Let's grab ourselves some obsidian. And what we need to do is make sure that we are in a reasonable position to get this without getting ourselves very much on fire. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put my water bucket there, which is going to flow towards me. So as I break these, with a bit of luck, they should flow towards me. Now, I haven't got any efficiency on this pickaxe, so it's going to take a little bit of time, but we only need a few pieces. There we go. Perfect. So we got ourselves 22 pieces of obsidian, and that is way more than we need for an enchantment table. I'm sure you can already guess. Yes, we are going to be making ourselves a Nether Portal as well. And my theory is, because this seed we are working on is a very popular speedrunning seed, that the Nether should have a fortress relatively close by, or at least that's my hope. I wish I'd hit the record button a bit quicker. It appears the trident-wielding drowned, holding his trident the wrong way round, was enough to take me out with just a couple of shots because I don't really have any armor. Stop hitting me with your backwards trident, sir. I need to go to bed. Look at all these tridents littering the area now. Jeez. Well, we've got all of the ingredients we now need in order to make an enchantment table, because we spent a little while in the last episode at the dungeon, at the... Hello? I'm just behind here, look. At the library at the dungeon, ripping out all of the bookcases. So now we should be able to make ourselves our first enchantment table, and we've got enough bookcases to get straight to level 30, although all those levels that I had are now gone. I'm back to level 7, which means we need to do a lot of leveling up before I can think about getting ourselves a silk touch enchantment. Now, I'm going to put this upstairs. I think that's probably a good place. So it's a little bit out the way. We don't really need access to it straight away. And what I'm going to do here, are they visible from the outside? They are. That's a bit of a shame. I was going to have my bookcases there. All right, we can get up to level 24 with the bookcases like that. I don't really want to do another massive row of bookcases. So let's see how many we can get if we do it like that. 28. And there we go, level 30. So what we're going to do is actually put this chest, which is going to be our lapis chest, over here. And that is going to contain our lapis and I guess our spare bookshelves and some books as well, because it's going to be useful being able to enchant our books. In fact, let's go and grab all of our books and stick them upstairs. And now that I've done that, I think that now would be the perfect time for us to hop over to me discussing today's feature, which is the pointed dripstone. Enjoy! Dripstone. Or, more importantly at this particular time, pointed dripstone. We don't actually have the full dripstone block in the Minecraft Bedrock Edition betas yet, but we do have the pointed dripstone, and this, when I saw this being announced at Minecon on the live stream, this was what got me more excited than most of the other features. And that is because if you've ever played modded Minecraft, you'll know how valuable it is to have something you can basically drop an entity onto that they will either die or take damage. Yeah, it's just going to make like mob killing systems so much easier. So while we do have designs like this, which are really useful, a magma block or a magma cube there with a hopper minecart below it, when the entities fall on there, they're going to take the burning damage, they're going to die, and their items are going to get picked up and put in that chest. Now we can simplify it. We can get rid of a lot of that stuff. We could literally just have a pointed dripstone there right on that hopper, and then when entities fall on it, they're going to die, their items are going to fall in the chest, which means we don't need to have drop chutes that are quite so high. Let's just learn a little bit more about dripstone and how it works. Well, right now the pointed dripstone can only be accessed from the creative menu. It is not available in survival. It doesn't generate anywhere in the world, and when you get it, you can place it in various different ways. You can place it on the floor, and you can place it going up, basically as high as you want. Or if you like, you can place it from the ceiling and you can place it coming down for as far as you like as well. So it's very variable. You can also place it coming down from the ceiling and coming up from the floor. And if you do it right, they will meet in the middle as well. Now, it is also possible to get them to do that without meeting in the middle, but it's a little bit hit and miss on Bedrock Edition. Now, if I put that one there, they're going to join. Now, if I crouch and place it, it shouldn't join, but it sometimes does. It's very much hit and miss in how it works. See, I managed over here to get them not joining at that point there, but it's not always possible to do. It's a little bit weird how it works. Anyway, we've got these dripstones. They're absolutely amazing, and the reason they're called dripstones is because they drip. If they have lava or water above them, they will drip those particles. If we wait for a second, you'll see the lava particle will drip down through that dripstone and go into the cauldron below. There we go. We see one, and it is about to fall, and it went in the cauldron. Unfortunately, though, at the moment on Bedrock Edition, they are not able to be collected in the cauldrons, and similarly, the water is not able to be collected in the cauldron either. But that, I believe, is coming, and that means we can have renewable water and lava sources, which is absolutely wonderful. Another thing about these, I believe, although I've not tested this yet, so let's do it together, is that you can dislodge them with projectiles, although it does seem not to be the case. Maybe I'm wrong about that then. However, what I'm not wrong about is if you break the block from above, it will fall and the items will drop, which means you can have traps. So with a little quick demonstration here, I have put together a very well disguised trap. No one would ever know what is supposed to be going on here. And if I pop my villager inside and hopefully tempt him towards this end, come here, sir. Come here and stand on this that block there. Don't worry, no, that's definitely not a pressure plate, sir. Go on, go stand on it. If he stands on that, oh no! He's going to get a nasty shock. He might not die, but he's certainly going to get a nasty shock. The idea there was that he stood on the pressure plate, the sticky piston got pushed out, which dislodged the dripstone, and it then fell on his head. Let's try it again and hopefully be a bit more successful this time. We now have a new system with the thingies a lot higher up the pointed dripstone and a new unsuspecting villager, and I'm going to use reverse psychology to make sure he does go and stand on that pressure plate. Whatever you do, sir, don't stand on that pressure plate. Don't do it. Oh, jeez. They never do what you want them to do they? Go on. Off you go. I'm going to look up as I push him so we can see this in action. There we go. The things have dropped, and they missed him. Jeez. Okay, this time we're going to make it a bit longer, and that way it definitely won't be able to miss. Let's put another unsuspecting villager back in there. Let's put a bunch of them in there, actually, because then at least one of them's going to end up pushing on that pressure plate. No, come on, get in there. Get a few of them there. There we go. It has moved, and oh, look at that. Certain death to the villagers. Yes, it worked perfectly first time. This time, our unsuspecting villagers have happened to have walked along and landed themselves over this completely unsuspecting pit thing here, and oh dear, I happened to knock this redstone torch out, and there we go! He fell down and he didn't die. Jeez, okay, well, the point is, these things will give damage to entities when they fall on them, and they will give damage to entities when the stalactites or stalagmites fall on their heads. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know which way round it is, stalactite or stalagmite. I always forget, so I'm not going to even pretend to remember. We're just going to refer to them as pointed dripstone. So how many damage do pointed dripstone do? There's only one way to find out. Let's find out the good old-fashioned way by going into survival and falling off into the abyss. Now, that's not actually very low down at all, but we're going to test this one stage at a time. Excuse me, sir, I need to come stand on here. So I'm just literally going to walk on top of these ones, and I'm absolutely fine. Now, if I jump, I'm fine as well. Okay, so, oh, I did take damage then, though. That was a bit weird. If I stand on there and then jump, oh, I take damage jumping on it. So one block effectively is going to cause damage. Let's try that again. Okay, one block, no damage. Right. 2 blocks, and I took 1 heart of damage. Okay, 3 blocks down, 2 hearts of damage. 4 blocks down, ooh, 3 hearts of damage. Well, there's a repeating pattern here. 5 blocks down then, a whopping 4 hearts of damage. 6 blocks down, 5 hearts of damage. Yes, it's very consistent. And we only have 1 more hole to test, so let's go down 7 blocks, I guess. Let's do this. Oh, and that is a whopping 6 hearts of damage. Well, trying to get my hunger back up to do these tests, it seems that golden carrots, or at least hunger, has not been fixed. I'm here in survival mode, trying very hard to eat this carrot, and for some reason I can't get that last half a hunch of hunger all the way to the top. We have found ourselves a bug again. Jeez, keep finding these bugs. Anyway, we are 11 blocks up. Let's fall onto that pointed dripstone down there that you can't even see. And there we go. Instant death. Instant death from 11 blocks up. Now, obviously, I know I'm not wearing any armor, so armor will protect us against that fall damage a little bit. The other thing, though, is if that falls by 11 blocks, is that going to kill me? That's what we need to know. Does it happen in reverse? Because I don't think it will. And there is only one way to find out. If I stand underneath this and press the redstone button there, we will find out if it does. Oh, no, it didn't. It did 9, though. Jeez, that was quite bad. So I guess maybe only 1 more block up should do it. Okay, I now have another system in place, and that one is 1 block higher than that. Let's check out. Will that kill us? It did. Okay, so yeah, it takes a slightly longer fall to kill us than us falling on it, which is a little bit weird, but it worked. So we've tested whether 1 falling dripstone will kill us, and the height that one set up at, it didn't. It nearly did. But I want to know if having multiple of them together, like stacked up like this, will do more damage than a single one, because technically when they fall, they're going to be falling as separate entities, I believe. I'm probably wrong about this, though. Let's check it out. Let's press the button when it falls. Oh, it all falls together at 1, and then splits on the floor. That's interesting. Let's see that again in creative mode. Let's watch this thing fall. It all falls as 1 block and then breaks up on the floor. However, other than setting traps and having a good fun way of trolling your friends, there really isn't all that much to do with dripstone at this particular moment. I believe there will be more features coming, because we can already see there are more features in Java Edition for this already. The only other thing I would like to mention about this block is their weird lighting issues going on. Can you see the lighting or the shadows behind these? Depending on the size of the dripstone will depend on how dark the block is behind it. It creates all sorts of weird shadow effects. Now, I don't think these are lighting bugs. If you see there, I'm putting torches down. It's bright outside. It's just shadowing the wall. which means it's not letting any light through onto those blocks at all. So that's considered a full block, I guess. If we get rid of that, you can see the block lights up as normal. We put the small one there, it gets a little bit darker. Put a big one there, and it's really, really dark. But then the next one down doesn't seem to get all that much darker. It's got some really strange lighting effects. You can also see these things will drip water regardless of having a water source above, but they will only drip the lava if there is lava below them. So yeah, very, very interesting block. Very, very cool and unique. I'm really looking forward to using these in survival when they are in the stable release. Anyway, back to us struggling along with our survival gameplay. Just want to take a second out of today's video to say that if you're not already subscribed to this channel, you can do by hitting that subscribe button, and then you should get notified for all of the videos that get released, as well as the other community posts and things that I do. Also, if you're not a member of my Discord, I do have a Discord, make sure you join that, because there are lots and lots of things that we can discuss together in there. The community is an absolutely fantastic one, and you're all very welcome to come. Anyway, back to the video. That dripstone stuff is pretty fancy. Well, while you were all watching that, I have been here decorating this area. Well, I say decorating, moving the stuff in from outside at least, and also putting mine and Chuck's beds up here ready for us to sleep the night away. Chuck's already on his bed ready to sleep when we need to sleep, because even though he's in creative mode so that mobs don't attack him, because he's hosting the world, he still has to sleep, because Bedrock Edition is weird like that. Right, we don't have anywhere near enough enchanted levels, XP levels in order to do that. So the next thing we're going to do is go and build ourselves our portal, which of course means we're going to need our flint and steel. And I could really do to consider getting some better armor at this point, I guess. And behold, we have our first Nether Portal. Now, I'm going to do something that I've been meaning to do for a long time, but never actually got around to doing it because I've never lived or worked on a world where I've needed to. But I'm going to colour coordinate my portals, and this is going to be my copper portal, which means that when I go into the Nether... Oh, the Wandering Trader's here. When I go into the Nether, I am going to put copper ones on there, and then I will remember which one that links up to. Nice and simple. We always need blocks to fill in those corners. Now we've got them. Let's go through into the Nether and see what nasty things await us. Whoa! And oh, great. I've immediately fallen off. I knew we'd be near a Nether Portal. That's at least good news. Not a Nether Portal, a Nether Fortress. Oh, and a Bastion. We're literally next to a Bastion. Wow, this speedrun seed is a good one. If you want the details for the seed, they are in the description below. And also on the first video, in the video there, we discussed the seed and why we picked it. But yeah, we've fallen down. We need to get back up there before we get got by the piglins that are no doubt inside of... Oh, jeez, Bastion. Uh-oh, this is bad idea. Should not have done that. Oh, jeez, now I'm on fire. Now I'm on minute fire. Oh, and there's a piglin there wants to shoot me. I don't have the right stuff to deal with you, mate. I wasn't expecting a fight. I just wanted to pop out of the portal, say hello to the Nether, and then pop back in again. I think we killed the piglin, at least with the with the stuff. Let's make ourselves a staircase up to there then. Jeez, that was scary stuff. And let's... Oh, mushrooms. We'll take those. Oh, I thought it was a hoglin then. You're a funny looking hoglin. Let's take the corners off here. And obviously, yeah, Chuck's loading up the other side, so things can technically wander in and out of the Nether while I'm here. That's slightly concerning. But yeah, let's take the corner blocks off, like I said, and we're going to colour coordinate this one. This is going to be our copper portal. Amazing. What a waste of copper blocks. Nice. What do you think, pig? What? Wow, there's a piglin brute up there. What a fancy looking Nether. But we're not going to explore the Nether today. We've seen a little bit of it. We will come back to the Nether another day. Today we are concentrating on getting our levels up so we can get some reasonable enchantments. There is one test, probably the most important test you should do on any version of Minecraft, and that of course is deciding whether or not the Wandering Trader should live. And I have decided no. You must be killed. Yep, you can still kill the Wandering Trader on the latest version of Minecraft in the beta. This is very good news. And the llamas as well do perish also. This is good news. We have done excellent testing today. Speaking of bugs, it is time for me to cut to me talking about the bugs that I want to discuss in today's video. Oh, this is getting very complicated, isn't it? It's bug time, basically. Enjoy. Well, the bug that I was going to show you is not this bug, but this is definitely an interesting bug that I've found. So, yeah, let's discover this one first. Basically, the bug I wanted to show you, I can't actually get to work, and that is that the old lag of death seems to be back from having lots and lots of shulker boxes with lots and lots of enchanted items in. Do you remember the one where you would have shulker boxes in your ender chest or in a chest and they would have enchanted items in and it would just really lag out the world? Now, I've been checking this out. I've got a frames per second meter up there on the beta. I can't see this is making a great deal of difference. But what I did just do, which is not the bug I wanted to show you, but it is a bug nonetheless, is that I control and picked blocked this chest here. And when you control and pick block, you get an exact copy of that chest with all of the items in it, as you can see there. And then I can open that and I can take those items out, which is nice. However, what I then did was I actually put two chests together, and because they've got data, they won't link together until I log out of the world, which means when I open it, I can't actually get any of the items out there. Even with my turbo clicker, they pop straight back in, and the same thing for this one as well. Now, I don't believe that's a chunk border, but it may well be, so let's move somewhere else and try that again. Put them both next to each other and try and take them out. They won't let them come out. But I believe if I was to relog, then those chests should be together. There we go. And then I can take items out of them. So it's kind of a bug. It's kind of not. It's not really going to affect survival gameplay. It's certainly not game breaking. But yeah, I really wanted to find this this laggy one, because if that's back, then we've got a serious problem. And what I've done is I basically, I filled it full of shulker boxes, which are full of heavily enchanted diamond boots, and that used to really cause a big problem, but it really doesn't seem to be doing so right now. So instead of that one, let's look at another quirk of these lightning rods. And no, it's not the way that it doesn't actually hold itself properly in my hand, although that is a little bit weird, the fact that it's not actually being held by me. It is something else. Now, in the last episode, we found out that if we place one and then break it and pick it up, which we can't do because we're in creative mode, then you can no longer place it. That seems to be a confirmed bug. A lot of people have had that problem. It also meant that you can't access chests and things while you're holding it as well. But the new bug that I found is that a lightning rod, will try and join to walls or fences. Or maybe it's the fence and the wall trying to join to the lightning rod. Either way, that really shouldn't happen, and I don't believe it does on Java Edition. That's a bit strange. Now, there are a few items that have very similar properties to the lightning rod in Bedrock Edition or in Minecraft in general, and that is the end rod and the chain. And both of those will not try and connect to the walls. Now, I would actually really like it if the chain would connect to the walls, because then we could have nice looking chain link fences, which at the moment we can't have because we have this weird gap. But, I mean, I guess we could have a chain link fence with the copper end rod instead. Not end rod, the lightning rod. But yeah, so just a weird little bug. I'll put the link for it down in the description below. Nothing really to get overly excited about. But there we go. A bunch of new bugs in the beta that could do with being addressed. I'm finding diamonds. This is good news. It would be nice to have fortune to dig these up with, but I haven't. And have you noticed that sometimes the copper blocks are the wrong way round? Yes, for some reason they have allowed the copper blocks to have, well, basically rotated textures, which is just a texture pack glitch. There's nothing wrong with the block itself. It just means that when they've done the texture pack, they haven't told it not to do that, which obviously they should have done. For the ores, they look a little bit weird when they're the wrong way around, don't they? Oh dear. I may have accidentally got creepered twice. The first one blew me down the hill, and the second one made me go pop. Oh jeez, I've no idea where I was either, and I wasn't recording, so I don't have my coordinates. This could be fun trying to go back and find my things, but nevertheless I will go back and try and find my things. Oh jeez. Oh, well, this is interesting. I must have done a full loop from where I was. This is literally the tunnel that I dug down, and I'd gone for miles beyond here, going round, all lighting up all of the caves, and this is where I died. So the creeper's literally blown me back to where I started, which is good news. I've got all my stuff back. I've got all the valuables that I lost, which is absolutely wonderful. And I guess that means everything is all good and pretty much fixed back to normal. Speaking of fixes, Today's fix that we're going to look at is not one I am particularly happy about. It's not the worst one in the world, but I think it's a step backwards rather than a step forwards. But fortunately, you know me, I do have a workaround. Let's check it out. The Nether, a very, very dark and horrible wilderness with many lavas falling down there. No, let's not get distracted by the lava. With lots and lots of fog, it's very difficult to see a long way in the Nether, which is one of the charms of the Nether. But also as a survival player that's trying to do an SMP, it's very, very frustrating not being able to see very far, particularly when you're wanting to go long distances, if you're maybe wanting to use your Elytra through the Nether, or just avoid massive big chunks of the world like this that you can't travel through maybe on a Strider or something like that. Hopping into the previous beta, however, we can see that the render distance was much bigger inside of the Nether. We have absolutely no fog at all, and it did seem very much like fog was tied into our render distance. Let's check that out. We're going to go to our video settings and we're going to turn our render distance all the way down to 8 chunks, and you can see there that the fog is back at 8 chunks, which I really like that change. I guess the issue being though is if you turn your render distance up to 80 chunks, you're just going to be able to see a ridiculous distance into the Nether, which is potentially relatively lag inducing, although you can't actually increase your render distance that far unless the system realizes you've got a powerful enough PC to do so or device to do so, so it really shouldn't be an issue. So the fact that they've reduced it again tells me that developers don't want us seeing a long way into the Nether. Which is absolutely fine, but, that really should be our choice, should it not? So hopping back again to the latest beta, let's see what happens when we change our render distance now. So we're currently on 80 chunks. If I reduce that down to 8 chunks, so reducing it to 8 chunk render distance really doesn't seem to make all that difference. Let's switch again back now to 80 chunks. And you can see absolutely no difference at all there. The fog is just as close as it was on 8 chunks. But I've got a plan. Now bear with me, I'm going to attempt to get very technical, and this has to do with the world files and resource packs in particular. You can see in front of me we have a Notepad++ file, and on the left hand side we have the fog settings for Minecraft. On the left is the previous beta where we could change the distance of the fog with our render distance, and on the right hand side is this latest beta where we cannot do that. And you might notice there is one subtle difference, or two subtle differences. The air fog here has a render distance type of render in the older version, and in the latest version it has a render distance type of fixed. What this means is that the render distance for the fog, or the distance of the fog, is adjustable by your render distance, whereas now it's fixed. But we can tweak where the fog starts and ends. So when it's on render distance, the start and end point is subject to what your render distance is at. When it's set to fixed, it is fixed per block in the world. So what that's saying is the fog will actually start that many chunks away and it will end that many chunks away, or blocks, or whatever the measurement tends to be. The good news is that we can actually change this with resource packs. In a not too recent Minecraft update, Mojang decided to give us the ability to affect all of the different types of fog in the world. We can change the fogs in jungles, in beaches, we can do it underwater, we can change the fog type when it's raining or what we see in a river, and what we see in the Nether as well. Well, the Nether fog has been broken until now. When you open up one of these fog files, you can actually change the color of the fog, the distance from the fog, and the render distance type, as we've seen from fixed, where it's just a fixed distance in the world, or whether it's based on your render distance. So I've been fiddling, made my own little resource pack here just to demonstrate, and I've changed the Nether fog to green, and I have made it go back to working with your render distance. So now, when we open Minecraft and add this pack to our world and go to play, you'll see that we'll have an absolutely horrible green fog. But to demonstrate, if I now change my render distance from 8, which it's currently on, all the way up to 80, you will see that the fog distance changes again, so that is now adjustable. So it is possible with a resource pack to actually change the fog settings. And so changing the color of the fog back to red and bringing my render distance down to a reasonable distance, you can see we can see an awful lot more of the nether, which personally I really like, and I think that's going to make a big difference for making videos as well. As a content creator, that fog is not very good. So all in all, whilst it seems to have gone a little bit backwards in terms of being able to do it in vanilla, altogether I'm happy because it does mean that we can now effectively change the fog distance in the nether properly, and that fix is a good one as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, the nether fog is, I don't know, I guess it's supposed to be there, but it's so nice being able to see. I will obviously be releasing a texture pack, or a resource pack as they're now known, that will allow people to be able to see further in the nether. That won't be a problem at all, but there's absolutely no point in releasing it now, because in the current version, it doesn't actually work. And that creeper blast has set me back quite a long way in terms of levels. I was up to around about level 15 again, which was great. I could have got some decent enchantments from that, but I'm now back down again to level 7. I should probably go and invest in some decent armor for myself so that I can avoid these things happen again. I have less than 5 minutes left of today's playthrough. I've gone through all of my iron pickaxes. The only one I've got left is my silk touch one, which means that I'm picking things up and not getting any XP from them. So I think it is time to head home and see what valuable goodies we managed to get. Well, it's not bad. From 25 minutes worth of mining, I've managed to get myself only 3 diamonds, but a reasonable amount of gold, quite a lot of copper, a good amount of iron, loads and loads of coal, loads of redstone, a little bit of lapis, and quite a few building blocks as well. So all in all, it's not been too bad, but I do feel like we have really lost out on our levels, and as such, our enchanting's not been that great. But since though we are here, we might as well enchant something. We might as well waste our levels. We made this enchantment table. We may as well use it. So in fact, instead of doing a book, let's put our axe on and let's see what we're going to get. Smite 1 and Unbreaking 1. There we go. We've used our enchantment table. I feel a lot better about things now. So I guess I've probably just about got enough time to break down the rest of these ores before the end of the video, get myself a little bit more XP, and obviously all of the valuable things outside of those. And I've got just enough time to probably smelt down all of these things, although I think I could... Oh no, there's the timer. I don't have time to smelt them all down. The timer has gone off. We have had our hour, which means, sadly, it is time to end today's video. Now, I really hope you're enjoying this series. I'm having a great time making this series, and like I said in the last one, if you have any ideas or if you've got any features that are in the betas that you would like me to talk about, any bugs that you've come across that you think need highlighting, or any fixes that you're particularly happy about, please do drop a comment below and let me know. If you're not already a member of my Discord, make sure to come along into that as well, where we can discuss all these kinds of things. And for now, I'm going to say thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!